an ACH checking thingy
Hey
from.
guys, how are you?
Good, how are you doing today?
Good to you.
Barb, can I get your,
I buy bread tonight.
Trent's trying to get out the front door.
Buy some milk.
Who's trying to get
He's
out?
gonna got $50 for each. One, the $50 for bread, $50 for milk.
Go, man.
And you know what it is? Hey, from the drink, what am I gonna
Oh, but you have to get in my office, not the
I was
parent
spending about
room.
$15 a month for meals. I believe it. 4 kids? Dude, I believe it. I believe it. Listen, if you're on that, you just keep everything in your house. You feed them at 6:30, and at 9:30.
You were busy out there.
Well, the lady who's doing the payroll,
Your own
this is
kids?
her second time, and we're still doing it in the kind of host way.
Right?
And so
Everyone.
she sent it to me, and she's like, can you put it
How
on
many
so I can
packages?
submit it tonight? I'm like,
$3 grand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's not, he's
So,
not quite
but
yet.
that's-
Yeah, getting there though.
It's okay, my phone, I couldn't get through to you today. Went to customer service and gave me options for customer service.
Did you press the right, you pressed 0,
I
and
did,
it
and
sent you
it
to
said that
EMS.
wasn't an option. So
But it sent you to billing.
it's billing, yeah.
So, because when you press 0, it's going to send you the bill.
Yeah, I called it 3 times to experiment, but not, I couldn't get through anyway. 'Cause I wasn't sure if you were here.
Because the message, I think, the message says press 1 for me.
No, it wasn't, you weren't an option. It was-
Oh, good.
It was billing, if you were somebody else, position or somebody else, then it was.
Yeah, that's the billing
If you're
company.
at collections and went
That's
through
the
it.
billing company.
Yeah, and it was the 6886 number, so I tried like 3 or 4 times to get
Okay.
through. I couldn't. Just
Good to know, we're still working
I
on
called
the key.
Yeah,
Tom.
we'll need to figure out the like Google Maps, if anybody ever needs it.
Oh, to hell with him.
Yeah.
Call 911.
Where do you get my Yelp review?
Yeah, I am. You did, hey, you're doing great.
Exactly right, we're just getting started.
If so, it's me laughing.
Yes, no.
Aaron, you.
So, yeah, we're been here the last 3 days trying to get everything
Oh.
ironed out, so.
I figured.
Thanks for that, though. I had
Yeah, that one still comes up as behind the Full House. So I'm like, that's not even
close
close.
to where we were.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh, no, where's my notes?
So now put your notes.
Uh-oh.
Okay, talk really slow today.
Wednesday,
Yeah, like that.
July 24th?
Smart pants.
I can do it, except Joe said hurry up and you said slow down, so I don't know. I'm not sure.
So I'll just take notes on the back of this piece of paper.
Okay. Okay, cool. We'll do our call to order at 16:07 and pledge of allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is 16:07. And then we'll move on to item number 2, roll call.
Zach?
Yes.
Joe?
Here.
Tom?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Wow. Then we'll move on to item number 3, to adopt the agenda.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the agenda as written.
Second.
Sweet.
Zach?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
You don't get one this time. Nick.
That's
You
right.
get two.
the
Zach
next
gets two.
Yeah, I'm loading up.
Yeah, we'll
I
load
need
up.
this,
Yeah.
man.
The next one.
Oh, my goodness sakes, have mercy.
Then we'll move on to item number 4, public comments.
I don't have anything for public comments.
Sweet. Then we'll go to item number 5, we'll review the meeting minutes.
I didn't see no problems.
Yeah, I looked over it earlier, didn't see anything wrong.
It ain't me, man. I got myself a flag rate. Bubba?
We got 2 screens now, we'll have to start putting up that thing at the beginning of movies where it's like, please, silence is
Silence your
golden.
phones. Yeah. I want the popcorn thing.
Yeah, that sounds great, I think we need that.
Yeah.
So
So we
we'll
need
need,
a motion.
yeah,
Make motion to accept the minutes.
Nick?
Yeah, I'll second.
Thank you. Zach?
yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Then we'll move to item number 6, financial statements for June 2024.
Total cash on hand for June 2024 is $2,013,769. That's down about $332,864 from May. Our June net income was $116,057, and our year-to-date net income is $933,500. So we're still looking good. And only concerns were the vehicle maintenance, the repairs, just trying to keep up on vehicles, but yeah, that's all I got.
Sweet.
Oh, shoot. We have to do executive session in this.
Yeah.
Can we move it up?
Oh,
I didn't
Right.
think about that.
You know, we really don't need an executive session today.
Yay.
Right? Yeah, we really don't. There are no
Nothing
updates. And anything that I can communicate, I can do that by way of a confidential email
Okay.
memo to all of you.
Cool.
Gabe and I might have a few announcements, but we don't need the executive session.
Hallelujah.
Okay? Yeah.
so, yeah, we need a motion for number 6 for financial statements.
I'll make a good motion, we accept the financial statement as written.
I'll second it.
Can I just ask going?
Yeah.
Zach?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to save up all those seconds, you guys are making me spend them. All right, so we're gonna skip item number 7. We don't have an executive session, so we'll move to item number 8, old business. Sweet. You looking for one or?
I'm trying to decide if I should do it in my director's report or if I should do it in I'll do it the director's report.
Okay. We'll move to item number 9, new business. And it says we've got a realtor on Zoom.
So,
That'd be us.
so how we came about this was we reached out to the real estate attorney, and they suggested that we find some real estate agent that specializes in commercial.
Okay.
And so they gave us 3 suggestions. These gentlemen are out of the Denver area.
Okay.
And so here they are to give us a little presentation, and
Good.
Ryan and Zach, you guys are on.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you inviting us on this. We're excited to work for you. Zach, do you have the BOV you can pull up and share?
Yeah, let me see how I can share a screen here. I was having a little bit of a hard time figuring it out. Give me a minute though. I think I sent it to Barbara. Is there a chance that you still have that, Barbara, to put up there? Because I can't figure it out on my end.
I don't have my computer in here.
Let's see if I can.
Okay, let me see what I can do here.
Do you?
Sorry about that, guys.
So
Ryan?
while he's looking for that, I'll just tell you a little bit about us and Copenhagen Commercial and give you a little bit of our background. So Zach and I specialize, everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Zach and I specialize in commercial real estate all throughout Colorado, mostly in retail type buildings. So within the within the real estate realm, there's like residential and there's commercial. And in commercial, there's different product types, multifamily, industrial, office, retail. So we're land. So Zach and I specialize in retail. This is considered retail. And this is, right in our wheelhouse with something that we feel very comfortable and very confident that we can get, and execute for you guys a sale on this. So a little bit of background on myself. I've been selling commercial real estate now for 24 years. all commercial real estate all throughout
Go up to the
Colorado.
top, Dave.
Zach and I recently have had some success in the tertiary markets, what we call tertiary
See
markets.
it? Yeah.
Pueblo, Fairplay, southern Colorado Springs, northern Colorado Springs, markets that just aren't Denver. So we don't specify just in, Denver commercial. We're all over Colorado, Lamar, Strasburg, Bennett, a lot of different, oh, there you go, perfect.
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job.
I might have done it.
So we like to say that, we want to, represent our sellers and make sure that their needs and goals are satisfied. So what it sounds like to us is that you guys, have this building that's going to be vacant. There's certainly, a need to sell. It's a pretty niche type of property where there's not, income that's coming off of it that, somebody's going to buy as an investor. It's probably more like an owner user. For example, like, let's see, I can't remember the name of it, Hope in the Valley would be a great user for that property. I reached out to them, told them that we were presenting this to you today, and to please contact us with any further questions or whatnot. So I think it's just a function of, for them, is when they can step up and how quickly they can close. Typically, as it goes with nonprofits, it seems to take a little bit longer than what maybe most sellers are hoping for. So we, went through extensively in the appraisal, looked at that. They appraised it for 1.1. I feel like, that's a pretty, reputable appraisal that was done, and I don't feel like they undershot you guys. And I feel like, if you wanted to go out a little bit higher, like $1.2 million, something like that, it would be, something that we could start at and go down that path.
Just let me know when you need to go, Ryan.
So this is just, through our BOV, it kind of translates into our offering memorandum that we go to the rest of the market. So we want to make sure that we shed the property's best light for you guys, in that, this property is showcased to investors, owner users. So, we did a lot of research on the market itself, the building square footage, pulled some stuff from the appraisal that we plugged in here, floor plans, that sort of thing. So, if you want to go down to page number 7, if you could. So, us at Copenhagen, we want to be, the leader in the industry in terms of the best customer service to our clients. And so what we have done, I've done this for the last 15 years, is really hold our feet to the fire with the reality of our pledges to our clients. I keep talk. I'm not sure if you guys are trying to talk to me or.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So what we do, or we can do if you guys want, is a 30-day out in our listing contract. Like, if we're not doing the job you expect us to do, then, you should be able to, essentially say 30 days and we're going to cancel this. You guys aren't living up to our expectations. And that really, holds us accountable to what we're doing. You best highest best. We also have a price pledge that, hey, if this property doesn't sell within a certain range, 10% of 5% of our proposed price, then 10% of our fee will come off. That we really want to hold ourselves to the price. A lot of brokers, will tell you a high price and then beat you down later. We just don't want to be those people. We want to give you like the actual price it'll sell for, and substantiate that, and feel confident going to the market that that's what it's going to sell for. And then third is best in customer service. And we find that a lot of our competitors, a lot of, even local people that, sell residential homes, they get a listing, 6-month listing, they stick their head in the sand for 6 months and then pop out and say, we need an extension or a price reduction. We want to be able to be clear and transparent on the front end so that you guys feel like you're getting the best in customer service. If you can go down to page 8.
Is everyone clear on what their fee is and their fee structure?
It's at 5%, so we're gonna,
Well-
10% on top of that, so 15%, 15%.
Is that correct?
Well, Ryan, if I could please, this is Les. I'm the attorney for the ambulance district, and I want to make sure that the board members are clear on your fee structure. So I don't know if we could go back to the last slide. We don't have to, but everybody ask any questions you want to. But as I read this, your fee is 5% of the market price, right?
No, it says
No.
that if the property doesn't sell within 5% of the price, then they'll
Okay.
take 10% off.
Okay, good. You're right. You're right. So, is everyone clear on like what the fee is that they're going to be charging?
So we're understanding it's
We haven't gotten
5%,
there.
correct?
No.
No,
No.
we'll get
Go
there.
ahead.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, don't be sorry. It's fine. Jump in whenever you want.
All right.
Our process is very, complex and, very proactive to the market. We discuss with, our internal sales team, the property, the benefits, what we see as the perfect buyer for it. We design the marketing. We are dedicated to our clients to make sure that they get the highest price. We disseminate the information to the marketplace and bring you, hopefully, not just one buyer, but several buyers that can compete against each other. That's when we're doing our job the best way that we know how. If you scroll down to number 9. So like I talked about the proactive marketing approach. A lot of times in this situation, I've been in this situation before, municipalities tend to want to start to try to list the property with a residential broker that's local. And what they don't get is the nationwide breadth of marketing. And so we still go to RE Colorado. That's where a lot of the residential brokers with any residential broker, commercial broker, whoever it is, if you have a license, we'll cooperate. And so, we want to make sure that in your best interest that we're not just looking for our buyers, but we're buyer in particular that's looking for this. We have to open up that marketing to everybody possible. So going to LinkedIn, Client Look, Good Karma, our website, LoopNet, Crexy, CoStar, Real Capital Markets, all these avenues, if you will, to find the right buyer is the biggest the biggest net that we can cast to find that one true buyer that's willing to pay more than anybody else. If you could scroll down to number 10, please. So basically, this is kind of our timeline. And what we like to say is, within the first 60 days, we would like to see, tours and offers. So review and sign, marketing hits, week to 2 weeks. We don't, a lot of competitors, a lot of people in bigger institutional shops will keep the listing in-house for 45 to 60 days because they want to double in the property. And so that they would double their fee. Well, we don't want to do that because that's not serving your best needs. So our marketing blasts to all the brokers. We get it out to everybody as we possibly can. We have 25,000 now people in our broadcast email that we hit. Tours begin, and within the first 45 to 60 days, we'd like to, some kind of offer. If it's not acceptable, that's really, to your discretion. But we'd at least like to see that that's, the path that we can get. And then typically from that point forward, it's a 60 to 90 day close. So the process on our end is pretty hot and heavy at the beginning, and we do everything we can to reach everybody that we can. And once we start seeing some offers, then we need to try to get them to compete against each other. If you could scroll down to 11-ish, maybe. So this is just a little bit more about the property, the attributes of the property that we're going to highlight in our in our offering memorandum. Gross building area, lot size, roof, year construction, et cetera, et cetera. This just translates right into our marketing brochure so that we can get it out there as quickly as possible to you guys. And we can just keep scrolling down. We probably would take drone photos, is my guess, is to kind of get it a little bit, a little bit more, into the, a good looking picture from the outside that looks, bird's eye view of photograph. Somebody's looking at this property and they don't understand Trinidad, don't know what is going on with the market. This kind of goes over that. This will translate right into our marketing package. And you can keep scrolling.
Mentions change, sex change.
Goes over a little bit over the local economy, just to show that, the population, median income, some tenants or some national investors are keenly focused on the demographics. We want to make sure that we highlight that in its best light. Also go over some development for the next buyer. And keep scrolling. Now, so this is where it comes down to the pricing options. Like I said, we went extensively through the proposed, the price that came in the appraisal, which we turned into the proposed pricing. I think that's a fair and equitable price to go at the market for. We think the market price is probably between that $1.1 and $1 million price. And that if you guys wanted to be aggressive and kind of really go for the high end pricing option, that would be 1.2. So we want to kind of put that in your guys in your corner to see what route you want us to take. Obviously, if you're in the more aggressive price, it's going to take a little bit longer. If you're in the more the market price, it's going to take a little bit less time. So we feel like that aggressive price would probably be in that 4 to 6 month range is what we would hope for there. So our brokerage fee is 6%. Now 3% goes to us, and then 3% to the outside broker. So we would be taking off, if we didn't sell within that $1 million range, we would be taking money off of that. So that helps you hopefully feel comfortable that that price is a price that we know that we can hit, and that we're going to be really going for the gusto to get those, whoever it is, to pay the highest price.
So you're saying your fee or their fee is 6%? Whose fee is 6%?
3 and 3.
It's
Oh,
3 and 3. And if
That's
where does the 10%?
So if they don't sell the property within 5% of the listed or proposed price, then they take 10% off of their 3%.
exactly. It's just an added incentive for us.
Got
to,
it. Okay, so 10%
make sure that
of
we hit the
3%.
price that we say
Got
that we
you.
can hit, and it shows you guys that we have some skin in the game.
Got
as well.
you.
Sorry if I confused matters.
A little bit.
You're
And
you're
jump the gun like you should. Right, yeah, exactly. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
So those are our two principles of the company. This is the rest of the team. Most of the folks do sell multifamily properties or land, and so Zach, myself, and Amanda are all on the retail commercial team.
So if we list with you guys, then will you shoot this out to all of your representatives for them to broadcast and search for buyers as well, or does it kind of stay with the 3 of you?
No, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier, is that we pride ourselves in blasting it out to everybody. So every Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, we have a sales meeting. We talk about new deals, new listings, or properties that are about to come on the market. That is shared with all of the internal folks. But within, a week to 10 days of it being listed, it goes to our 25,000 investors in our database. And it also goes onto RE Colorado, LoopNet, CCINet, all of the Crexy. There'll be, millions that it is accessed within, 10 days of listing.
Thank you.
Can we ask questions?
Good.
So I'm Tom Murphy. I'm one of the board members. Couple quick questions. How's the price been in the last 5 years in the commercial real estate market? Has it been rising steadily?
That's a loaded question. 5 years ago, it was great, and 2 years ago, it hit the skid. So, we are very sensitive to interest rates. What somebody can afford or what they can rent the property for is really predicated a lot on interest rates, as borrowing money is kind of paramount to this type of investment. So 5 years ago, it was great. 2 years ago, it hit the skids. Now it's starting to be some relief. We were talking this morning in our sales meeting that most properties are selling about 10 to 15% less than what asking price is originally. That's not across the board. I mean, there's been a couple that have sold for, at list. But this is, sort of a needle in the haystack type of property that needs not just a very focused marketing campaign, it needs a very broad marketing campaign.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'll talk about the listing agreement, especially for anybody that has a law degree. We use the Colorado pre-approved contract. There you go. He approved. So that's something that if you need to change or redirect in some fashion, I mean, it's up to you guys. And if you wanted to use your own form, that's certainly fine with us too. We just want to make it comfortable and easy for you.
Is that, will we get a copy of this presentation if we sign with these guys?
I was gonna ask that anyways after the presentation, if
Yeah.
we could get the PowerPoint and the contract, just as like that would be awesome.
I can do that.
So are we at a decision point of,
Yes.
and we can vote on this today? So, and this is, we put it out to 3, but this is the only people that responded, correct?
These were the only ones I felt comfortable with. The other 2 were nationwide,
Okay.
and I felt comfortable with this group.
I like the presentation. I'm satisfied with, what they've put together for us. Seems complete and professional.
Right.
Yeah, and they touched on the couple things that I had any concern about, which was like the extending of terms and things like that, where they then, would end up doubling their fees and things. So they've covered what I had concerns over, and this does sound kind of what I was imagining.
And it's possible we may have somebody on the line right now with the people that, that were interested, that nonprofit, whatever.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like
that's what
they've reached out to them already.
That's what I heard.
Hope in the Valley, they said they already reached out to them, so.
If we need a motion, I'm ready to say, let's move forward.
Yeah.
So I'd make a motion that we hire these people.
Yeah, I think it's big enough that I shouldn't second, but I am on board with it, so.
I'll second
Okay, let's take a vote. Zach,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Andres,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes. Good job, Gabe.
Well, gentlemen, it sounds like you're hired, so I'll get this contract signed and get it over to you, and we'll start working on it.
I got one question for you before you go. Because of our location here, sometimes it's a little stretch on getting people to get it. What if someone came up and said, hey, we have $500,000 down, will you carry the note? Are you flexible enough to get us involved with that where we can make a deal if that tends to be the case?
Yeah, if you guys are willing to carry financing, the likelihood of this closing goes up exponentially. Like I said, interest rates, banks, it's really tough to get a deal, to a closing table. I've done hundreds of seller carry financing deals. I would say 100% of them, knock on wood, the seller has ended up in a very good position to, not only get enough collateral to put down, but also enough income that it's very satisfactory to the seller.
I just want to say that I have considerable ambivalence about the notion of the ambulance district doing owner carry financing. Barb, as staff, is assuring me, she's saying that per Colorado law can be done. That may be, but I don't think it's ideal. I don't think it's good governmental practice since this is a special district. And also, and I know that staff will make sure that this is done, but the Department of Agriculture loan, I would worry if you think they're okay with your, go ahead.
So at the last meeting, you guys voted in the resolution to create the enterprise, right? So we took our budget and we have just split it. The enterprise carries anything to do with transportation, including the USDA loan. So that's what that was for, was so that the USDA loan, the financing for that could go into the enterprise, which in turn opens us up to be able to do the owner financing. We spoke with Lisa Mayers. She's counsel for the Special Districts Association at the state level, and she said there is no reason whatsoever that we cannot carry it if we so chose to do so. So we have it as an option.
I'm with Les, though. If we can swing away and be done with it.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just saying,
Right.
But
push came to shove, though.
But it's there, just so you're clear on your options.
Yeah.
But also, I want to say, it puts us in a position where we might have to be debt collectors. We might, right in the event of default, we're going to have to avail ourselves of litigation. And it is, so if it's allowable, and I'm just not persuaded that it is, I don't think it's ideal. And I'm not trying to be, obstreperous. If it can be done, it needs to be done, and everybody okays it, then I will research it. But I would just say, if there's any way to avoid that, it would be a good thing to do.
I kind of agree.
Because this is a governmental.
That's agreed, it's just.
I don't think
No,
anybody's disagreeing.
Right,
I think
right,
the optimum outcome is that somebody says, yeah, we want to buy it, here's your down payment, we'll finance it. That's where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with all of this,
You
that
know?
it is, I think it should be more on the back burner, but still, if it's an option, have it be an option.
Maybe a last resort kind of thing, maybe
Yeah.
a last
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah.
But I figure if we're done with it, we're done with it.
Yeah.
I- That's my own thoughts. And
I
yes,
do
we
have-
I agree.
I do have one question, that as a special district, as a government entity, are we obligated to attempt the most aggressive pricing first, or do we go for a more realistic? Because it's like, I'm thinking of it, is it relative to when you have to do bidding for the lowest bidder?
Right.
Or you have to sell for the highest price?
I think,
I
go
think
ahead.
you start high.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what,
You can't go back up, but you
Right.
can come down.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I
kind
think
of what
that's-
Ryan was even suggesting. I think that's a good way to list it for 1.2 and do what,
Well, and
go ahead.
I think there's a few things that I want to touch on with you guys. I think would keep you guys out of the soup, if you will, is that you have an appraisal for 1.1. So that's something that can substantiate any one of your taxpayers that say, hey, did you try to get the highest and best for this? If we list it at 1.1 and it's worth 1.2, it will sell for 1.2.
Because it'll go into more people wanting to purchase it, so there'll be more of a bidding
Exactly.
war or whatever.
So I think you can substantiate 1.1. That was just kind of like the option of, hey, if you want to really stretch, it's 1.2, but I wouldn't go any higher than that.
Okay.
So I don't think that you guys are doing a disservice to any of your constituents by listing it at 1.1. You have an appraisal that is substantiated.
Okay.
Okay. Is that customary in your industry to list it for exactly what it's appraised for? It seems almost like, I mean, and we're certainly willing to accept the appraisal, but it just seems like, especially because this is, partially it's a taxpayer, funded organization. It just seems like we need to do everything we can to ensure, top dollar for this. But go ahead, Ryan, if that's an industry standard to list it for what it appraises for, that's fine. But go ahead, I'll let you answer.
I've had appraisals, oh boy, sometimes I say those who can do, those who can't appraise. I looked at that appraisal with a pretty discerning eye and felt really comfortable with that price. That being said, if somebody's willing to pay more than that, the market will dictate that. So if you guys want to go out at 1.2, we go do our whole marketing campaign, and 2 or 3 weeks later, we say, hey, there's crickets out there. We got to lower the price, and we just got to be, reasonable to that.
Okay, good. So clearly, like, let's say if you get multiple offers, you may get someone coming in for, lower than what we're asking for. You may get someone who is saying, we could put half down and then we want the ambulance district to finance the rest, right? I mean, you will give the board those options, right? I mean, we want to reserve that and make sure it's subject to the approval of this board, who they sell to, and you'll do that, and you understand that that's how we have to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I just,
Okay.
Probably 6 months ago, I sold, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the town of Edgewater. I sold them a building, and, I had to go through this process, so I'm well versed in doing this.
Good, okay.
Yeah.
A couple questions for you, though. How often do you guys meet?
Once a month.
Right, but we can have a special meeting.
Yeah.
Right, I mean.
Yeah, I would say if you get any offers to reach out, we can set a special meeting and address whatever you have for us at the time.
We have to give a minimum of 24 hours notice. We have to post for 24 hours. So,
That's fine. I just,
Okay, good.
if I've got, let's just say hypothetically there's a 1031 exchange buyer that wants to buy it, got the time's ticking, I gotta be like, hey, we gotta get together, within the next, 4 or 5 business days.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Right, okay. That's fine. And also, if you'll communicate with staff, if they have information they need to get to the board, I can send them a confidential email so that they know. We can communicate, but we can absolutely have a special meeting, if you need that.
Okay. And then a couple more questions for you. The USDA loan, how long does that go out for?
30 years.
What are the terms of that?
30 years.
30. Yeah, 30
Okay,
years.
So it's a 30-year amortization. What is the loan at currently?
2.5%.
Is that,
I'm sorry.
2.5%.
Right, but the balloon, like the amount due, the loan amount.
Oh,
3.27 million.
3.279. Okay. So then does that get paid off upon the sale, or does that just get redirected somewhere else, or how does that work?
So we'll pay down a portion of that loan. The goal is to try and get that paid off, obviously a lot sooner than 30 years. So the sale of the building will pay off a portion of that, and then whatever we have left in the construction budget will pay off a portion of that.
Okay, so there's some kind of partial release that's written in the loan agreement that'll get paid off. What, let's see. Then who is our point person for any questions or contracts? I mean, should we blast it to everybody there, or just Barbara, or?
Barbara and
They're all
April.
yeah.
Send it to both of us.
we're all point, that's right.
Okay, that's fine. That sounds good. And then, the Hope in the Valley, I reached out to Callie, I believe was her name. Is that who reached out to you?
Kimberly Reed.
Kimberly?
Kimberly Reed.
Because I think her name was Callie Reed. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe they're related. I don't know. Okay. Okay, good. That's all the questions I have.
That's all I've got.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So I only have like one thing that, well, okay, this isn't my only one thing, but on your POV, I was reading about the local area, and you must have gotten that off an old internet website where we are the sex change capital of the world.
That's hysterical.
I don't know if we as a board want to promote that or broadcast that because
Right.
it no longer is.
Yeah, it is a formal
I
thing.
said that.
It
I
has,
said that today at the meeting. I said, hey, just so everybody knows, it's no longer the sex change capital.
yeah, it has changed.
Yeah,
That was the only thing I saw on there that you may want to, update.
My name used to be Alice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, do deeper.
It was though, I mean, that's the truth though.
Right, right.
Back in the day.
Exactly, yeah, no denying our history.
Nope.
No denying, but yeah, it doesn't
But
apply
let's look at
anymore.
our future.
Yeah, right, there you go, yeah.
About
Yeah.
15 years now, 20 years now? 20.
Yeah, 20 was when he died, or when it transferred to the other lady, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think Marcy left about 2010.
I think that's right.
Oh, now we're in Trinidad history.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
last
but
one.
it's
That's
Yeah,
right.
we're-
Yeah.
We digress.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
Yeah,
about it.
that got derailed real quick, Barbara.
If you need it, we can probably set you up.
Yeah, right.
They changed my ID without me asking, so. All right.
Anything else, guys?
I think we're good. Thank you guys. Appreciate the vote of confidence and we're looking forward to working for you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, appreciate it.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Zach wants to hang out.
That's because we're so fun.
We are. Oh no, he's trapped. Baby's in a corner. That's not gonna end the whole meeting.
Yeah.
It should.
Zach?
I was afraid to.
Is that you trying to land it or him?
No, I was.
Zach,
going
are
to,
you
but-
dropping off?
I am. I'm trying to do it right now.
Yeah,
I'm having some issues.
yeah,
Having some
oh
issues.
boy,
Thank you.
I feel your pain, man.
Phil, happy to hang out.
Yeah.
He likes us.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I forgot, I had told Zach I would send him a Zoom, like I was gonna do a video of the building inside.
Oh, yeah.
But then we started moving and now we have to wait till we get it.
Shame on you.
Cool. Do we have any other questions or comments on new business? Sweet. Then that would move us to item number 10, Director's Report.
Oh boy. Zach's lucky he gets to listen into the director's report.
Zach loves the
He's
director.
trying, he's trying really hard.
You
not to,
just, I
I'm
know,
sure.
that's right. The first thing you learn is the exit button. How did, there we go.
All right. Director's report, July 24th, 2024. No medical direction updates. Everything's going smooth there. Our new billing company, EMSMC, year-to-date collections are $707,189. The old AR, we've collected $9,460, so that's come up a pretty significant amount. And Les received a message from the old billing company's attorney, said he was on vacation, and he would follow up with his client this week.
That's correct, haven't heard yet.
Okay,
I'll let you know when I do.
so just waiting on that. USDA new building update, we're here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Barb's still working with USDA, Bank of the San Juans, and DOLA to close out the construction loan. but we're right there, so we're pretty close. And then we just went through the sale of the old building. 2302 is in service,
Nice.
and it looks sharp. You guys want to stick around after the meeting?
Yeah, for sure.
Go check it out. So, real quick, uphill update. So on July 10th, I received a phone call from Carl. They found a conflict, and so I reached out to 2 other attorneys. So I have 2 other attorneys that are willing to take us on, and so I'm just waiting to get with Les and sign a letter of engagement, and we'll
Did they say what their conflict was?
move forward. They didn't.
How do you find a conflict with somebody who's like not even from here?
I know, and it took him like a month.
Yeah, that's what's weird.
To find
Their
conflict.
initial conflict check was 0,
Right,
and then
right.
they found something.
And then they sent the engagement letter, they were ready to go, right, now, this is your information, Gabe, but yeah.
So
And then found conflicts and couldn't do it.
So we're good with that, and I also received an email from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment Facilities this morning, and they are forwarding on our ambulance transport concerns to the EMS division because they can't address any of that. And they also said it appears there may be potential for fraud on some of the interfacility transfers, and so they are going to refer that to their fraud control unit.
How did they get involved?
I contacted them.
Yeah, he sent a couple, at the last meeting, he told us that he had sent some complaints to them over a couple different issues throughout time.
And they're interested in that.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
So we'll see where that goes. And then just some quick updates. July 9th, I participated in the Colorado Whole Blood Coalition. So Colorado as a state is trying to get whole blood throughout the entire state. It's just hard with the rural communities how they're gonna do that because they don't know how to store it yet.
Gotcha.
So,
That's always the issue.
Yeah, I've jumped on that coalition, so we're trying to work that through. I wanna be one of the sites, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay in tune with that.
That's huge. That's that's a huge, like, cutting edge thing.
Absolutely.
So that's massive.
July 10th, I participated in the Colorado Ambulance Manager State Meeting. That's just updates and kind of preparing for upcoming stuff. July 10th and 11th, Sound Off Signal was in town and did a video and photo shoot with the new ambulance. So we'll be in their calendar and we're gonna be at their display.
Shirts on or off?
Just the ambulance. And we will be on their full display at EMS World Expo in Vegas in September.
Nice.
All the videos and stuff,
Wow. That's really cool.
because we're using their system, so
Okay.
that was awesome.
Yeah, that's really.
And then July 16th, I did the RETAC meeting, that was uneventful. I went through our KISS review, so they needed to see some policies, so I sent those off, so hopefully we'll hear back from them in a few weeks and we'll figure out if we get approved for the KISS license, and then we can move forward. And that's all I have.
I have 2 questions. They were this, I think one of them I asked last month, but I just figured one of them we already got an answer on. So that would have been 3. One of them is accounting. I think I heard you bring it up earlier. Have we found a new accounting?
Yeah, that's who we're using, that
That's who
WSDL.
Bill is through. Okay, got you.
Yep.
And then my other question was body cams. Where did those have that?
So I held off on putting those, we have them,
Yeah,
I held off on putting those in service because of the move. I had to have Hayden set up the server so that
Gotcha.
everything can get downloaded.
okay.
So that's been the only holdup.
Okay, cool.
Policy's ready to go, everything's ready to be put out there.
Sweet, so it was literally just getting the server set up here
Yep.
where it's stable.
Yep.
Nice, that's awesome. And that's all I had for questions. Anybody else? Sweet. Then that will move us to item number 11, operations and fleet report.
All right, so for the month of June, we had 241 calls of service. That's up 39 calls from the previous month. Medic 3, 3123, did 1 call with the transport. Both Chief and I had a call as well. 28 IFTs, down 2 from the month before. 2 of those were transports home from the ER. Year to date, we have 174 IFTs. IFT miles for the month of June was 5,850, and for the year, we're at 38,800. There was one, it was a return home from the ER that we did not take, and it sounds like from reading the narrative, they told the ER, or told them that they had to wait for the other crew to come back because they were on transfer, and by the time they got back, they must have found other means, but the ER canceled that. So we have, as Chief said, 2302 is in service. I got off the phone just before the meeting. 2301 is finished, waiting on paperwork, and waiting on Chalmers to bring it up, take 2001 back down because we're almost close to the 60,000 mile range on the warranty, and we've had some recalls on the transmission. We want to have it totally looked through, make sure that we're not going to have issues down the road, and make sure it's documented. So at this time, happy to report that we have 4 of the 6 trucks running. One of them is still waiting, should have air conditioning fixed next week. Cool, that's what I have.
Awesome. Any questions, comments?
Just as we hashed out last time, I'd like to continue the discussion of possibly hiring somebody full-time or whatever as a mechanic to troubleshoot. Is that a possibility? Since it's such an important factor in what we do?
So this is what I know thus far with the mechanics that we've used. So I'm very happy that we're back, and it's been a challenge to have successful mechanics. I think we would be hard pressed to find a good mechanic to come in-house because they're probably already working for somebody else, and that's kind of what I've heard. We were taking them to Phil Longford and Raton there for a while, and Pioneer or Evergreen ended up hiring their mechanics out, so they're trading places. So I don't know that it's a bad idea. We've talked about it before. I just don't know how probable it would be.
That's kind of my impression too, is while it is a good idea with how much maintenance we have, it is also a thing where we would be hard pressed to pay them what they're getting paid at a full-time mechanic spot, especially diesel mechanics. So they're so specialized that they get paid pretty well even through just regular jobs. And so for us to compete with that would probably be pretty tough right now on the budget, especially with the property tax going down and things like that we're already kind of on the lookout for. That's my impression, at least.
May I ask a question, please? Didn't we have a conversation at the last meeting about kind of the downward trajectory of IFTs? Didn't we talk about there was like kind of there were fewer IFTs and there was kind of just a trend downward? Right.
We're at 174 right now at the end of June. So we're usually running about 400.
Okay.
So we're 16 short of being half of 400.
Okay.
So I mean, last month we were down 4. This month we're down 2 from the month before. So there's a few that have kind of dropped off. But if you look at it as 6 months, we're 174 of roughly 400.
Okay. I thought there was like kind of an abrupt reduction in May. And I don't know why I was thinking that. There was something that was of concern, but yeah, it must not be. And you're right, it's on track. I just thought there was some kind of discussion or issue about IFTs kind of trending downward.
There was concern in an executive session of some things that have been happening that related to the complaints.
Right.
But there weren't, as far as I remember, there weren't any like actual trending downwards.
Good, that's all I'm asking. I was just thinking there was a decline in IFTs.
I think we're on tap still to do close to 400. There's been some things back and forth with trucks down, that type of thing,
and the hospital being on the work, different things like that. But all that's, basically, we're on track to still be doing 350 to 400 transports is the way we're set right now. So,
Thank you.
if that answers your question.
Yes, it does, absolutely. Thank you.
Go back to the mechanic for a second. Would you be interested in a really good mechanic on-call kind of thing rather than have to hire someone full-time?
That is actually
I've got a couple
that's a
people
good
that
point.
I use that are semi-retired, kind of thing, but they are outstanding mechanics. They, get my stuff, they get my diesels going and all that kind of stuff. So if we'd be interested, I
It's
could.
definitely something worth looking at.
I mean, he's not cheap, but he wouldn't be a full-time, he wouldn't have any,
Right.
worry about any,
So,
health insurance or.
Payroll.
going back to some of the financial concerns, I'm not so much concerned with IFTs or anything like that. It's more so what the state's doing with property tax and that kind of thing. So if we get this health service district going soon, then we can go to the voters for a sales tax. And then that will kind of help put us in a spot that maybe we can do some of that stuff. But it's definitely an option.
But if I'm hearing correctly, it's right now we're kind of in a holding pattern to try and make sure we know what our budget's gonna be after.
That would be the
any state
preference,
changes.
with starting the transportation enterprise and stuff. The
Right.
preference would be to just kind of hold steady for the rest of the year and kind of see where we're at.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Any other questions, comments, concerns? And I think that moves us on to item number 12, miscellaneous. I think I covered my miscellaneous under the director's report, so.
So if nobody else has anything, I'm just gonna throw out there a reminder that we're not writing checks anymore with our new billing, with our new accounting company. We're using bill.com. And I have been sending, so what happens is I put it in the system and then I have to put down the approvers that I want it emailed to. And once those 3 approvers, which would be Gabe as the executive director, and then 2 board members, once it's all approved, I can go in and I push a button and the bank sends a check to
So
the
Nice.
vendors.
one thing I've been noticing, that I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot all about it. One thing I've been noticing is pretty quickly after I'll get a notification or an email, it seems almost like it's like one person's approving and then they're going through. And I could be wrong, maybe it's happening that quickly, but it was like I've only approved 2, I think, total. And each time I go to open up all of my,
So maybe that's my fault in the system, because the first one I sent out, I did individual people,
Right.
and then it said, oh, you can make a group.
right.
So I did a group
And so
with the
maybe
3
it's
of
doing,
you.
yeah, so
And
maybe it's
maybe
doing
it just
an
took that
approval
one approval
per
and sent
group.
it.
I think it might
Okay.
be because I've been, like I said, I've noticed I've only done 2 and the
Okay.
only times that I've done them is they popped up and I was like looking at my phone.
Okay,
And so I immediately pulled it up and approved. And then all the other ones, there's, probably hundreds now. And they were all like completed.
oh, okay,
And so to me, it just
That's
seems
my
like it's a
fault
little
then.
fast.
that's my fault.
Okay, cool.
So I will make sure I put individual approval.
However you did the one on Monday or Tuesday, it seemed like it worked correctly.
And that's
Because
what I
it showed
did, I
me
did
approved,
individual
And then it
people
had, I think, both of you guys.
Right.
to approve.
Underneath waiting.
I had talked to her one morning on one of those where the only thing with that one, at least at the very beginning, the only thing with it was it was making us do approval in order.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
sequential.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
So
that was
I
tough,
usually-
but
yeah.
regardless, we could work that out if that's how it has to go. But I think it's probably better that than
Right.
just one person.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
approving
absolutely,
as a
well, that's
group.
the whole system.
Right, yeah.
So that's, then I know that the approval group doesn't work.
Yeah, I think the approval group is probably giving approval as the group.
Okay.
So like if one person from the group says approve, then it's
Okay.
like that group has approved.
Right, because I read it, but I.
That's cool.
So-
It's all
But
new.
if anybody
It's all new
has
stuff.
any issues, I have been using Joe and Zach, and obviously Gabe. So if anybody else would prefer to be on the list to approve, please say, and I can send those emails. I figured you were kind
No.
of techno-challenged,
No.
so it might be kind of a headache.
No, I'm good on some stuff I'm not.
Okay,
But, so there's never a time that you need to write a check?
Nope.
so far, no.
Oh, it's pretty sweet
So,
when you pull it up.
and if you notice tonight, you don't have board checks.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, I'll go in and I'll put these 3 bills in.
Well, what
And
am I
they'll
gonna
get-
do for my Wednesday?
They'll get approved and the bank will mail you a check.
Okay.
Pretty slick.
But still send the bill to you.
No, don't send
Yeah,
me any
send the bill to
bills.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Simple and
nothing's
clear.
changed.
Okay, good.
Nothing's
Okay,
changed
okay,
with the
good.
vendors, it's just a different
Okay,
way of us doing
Yeah,
it
it's
on
just,
our
just
end.
the internal side of signing
Yeah.
everything.
makes sense. How nice for you.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
making
Joe,
me
do you need
nervous
any
still,
help signing?
because
I
obviously
bet.
I'm not
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it.
Do you need any help signing in?
I do, every time I do it, it's something I
I
like.
can help you with that. I just remember it got brought up.
Let's do
like
that,
not too
yeah,
long ago.
and then so I can get it, so I'm just clicking them in.
Yeah, for sure. I
Right
can
now,
help
it's like a process to get in, and it's really a pain.
I got you.
in the neck.
Yeah, between the email and the app, once you have them set up, I, like, every time it comes through, I get
It's
an
easy.
email notification, and then within like 1 second, I get an
Yeah, I
app
struggled with it since I
notification.
started here.
So I can help you get that all
Oh, I
set
thought
up.
we had you all fixed.
We did, but every time I go back in, it's something, some other kind of thing tells me,
I got
to
you.
change a password or
Thank you.
something.
Yeah, I can help you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
I'm part
My
of that generation.
My 4th IT guy.
Yeah.
I can
I
always
do
use a
this,
new
I
one.
do this for my family all the time.
Okay, cool beans. So that's all I had. I just wanted to remind everybody and let you know how it works.
Cool. Yeah, other than that concern, I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love, it feels like we're in the future. I love
No, it's
having it.
so
It's very
nice.
nice. Any other,
Are we gonna have a grand opening or?
Yeah, I was waiting till everything settled. We're still waiting on
Okay.
some stuff that's on back
Okay.
order.
gotcha.
You got it?
And then I found my shovel the other day for the groundbreaking, and it was
So cool.
September 14th, and I went, oh, we just do a grand opening
Oh, wouldn't that be
September
fun?
14th.
Whoa. Hey,
That should give us enough
That
time.
would be
Yeah.
fun.
that would be cool.
Yeah, we'll be in, the other place will be cleaned and on the market and,
That's
Maybe
true.
a year exactly from the groundbreaking, we just do the grand opening.
That's awesome. It looks good. Cool.
Just went from selling motorcycles to
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
having a party in here to
Cars,
I'll take that as a no. Then that'll move us to item number 13, next regular meeting date. And I have
21st.
28th.
it's a weird month. Is it the 21st or the 28th?
20.
Mine says the 28th. Is it, we
I
do,
thought it was the 4th.
It
Yes,
is.
it is, but if you look at the calendar.
the first one is the 31st,
Yeah,
which would make it not the first one.
right.
Who hired him? Jeez.
Dude, numbers are hard. Cool, so next regular meeting date will be on August
Be here the
28th,
21st,
4 p.m.
At 13840 Highway 350.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
The one that's not behind Wonderful House.
Yes.
That's so weird.
It's so weird, there's nothing over there like
Google
that.
does that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing over there with that name or number or
Apple
street
Maps.
name or
That's right.
anything.
The car going by
Takes you
itself.
here. Apple Maps does?
Mhm.
Wow, that's a rarity.
But Google takes you over there.
To behind Wonderful House?
Oh, totally. Yeah, like right behind Wonderful House with no recourse.
Oh,
I
thank
already
God I
sent in a
didn't
request to
Google
fix
map
that,
it.
so
I'd still be
Okay.
though.
So we need a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that one.
Yeah, we're done, dude.
Zach,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
You guys
Joe,
gonna stick around to tour?
Andres,
Yes. I wanna see
Nick,
that rig, yes.
Nick,